Hi guys, it's Bible Girl, and it's the last day of VEDA. We made it through. Today, as the end of April, is also marking the end of something I've been able to participate in over the last 12 months called Kidmin Academy. And today I wanted to kind of give you my review of Kidmin Academy, the good, the bad, the indifferent. So, before I start off, I want to start by saying I am super thankful to Kidmin Academy because I received a full scholarship for this program for 12 months of learning and professional growth. And from that, I'm just eternally grateful because it's not the cheapest thing in the world to do in the long form. So I am really thankful that I got that free scholarship to do this. I actually got a scholarship a couple years before, didn't realize it was a half scholarship, so I had to decline it just because couldn't afford to do even at half. So the gist of Kidmin Academy, for those of you who don't know, it is a program for children's ministry leaders to continue to grow and develop. It's what's called a diploma program. So it's a 12-month program. It's not like an accredited college or anything like that, but you do work throughout the system. You have homework you turn in. You do different things throughout the year. You attend online classes, and at the end of the program, when you complete it, you get a diploma saying you did this 12-month program. And when I'm done with my homework for this month, I'm gonna see how that goes about. And there's a lot of really cool things about it. There is a wide variety of topics, from digital media, which very valuable this year, preschoolers, volunteers, leadership. This month was preteens. Every month is a different topic, and how they set it up is every month you have a new member of faculty. And what is really interesting is faculty tends to be people that I've seen at conferences, that I know frequent these things, that are published authors, that actually are doing stuff in the field, which is neat. And usually they post a video for one week. They post a video where they teach, and then a couple weeks later in the month they have a live class on Zoom, and you get to ask questions and participate in real time with that person. And on another week, it's social week, so you interact with each other on a message boards as students, talking back and forth on topics that have been assigned. There's also a Facebook group that you are supposed to come and talk with the faculty for the month and ask them questions and get to interact with them. And even though there are several hundred people participating, they do respond to everybody, and they tend to respond pretty good even if you don't do it on the social day. So it's pretty cool in that regard, that you get to interact with people who you've seen on a convention stage and things like that. There are people that I've used curriculums they've written, I use them for worship, I've done stuff, and to get to interact in some regard, especially this year where you haven't been able to attend any kind of thing where you could interact with people. It's really cool. So I do enjoy that aspect. One other week is the book week, where they want you to read the book for the month. So this is this month's book, Leading Preteens, and they're fairly small books. They're short little guys. This one is 78 pages. Yeah, it looks like it's 78 pages. So they're fairly short, and they're quick and easy reads. And most of them I really feel like I gleaned some stuff or got some stuff out of it. There's one or two that I'm like, they're okay. The Facebook group is a pretty cool spot where you get to interact and talk to one another and develop with a group of people that want to progress professionally. And that's a neat thing too. So overall, there are things, that's the gist of how you go about each month in Kidmin Academy. You also have a Tuesday Talk video from Ryan Frank, who is in charge of Kidmin Academy, and he gives you a little bit of information and stuff. So there are a lot of things I like about it, but there are some things to discuss in the other direction. So just start with the Tuesday Talk stuff. Sometimes they have been wildly incorrect, which happens, like information changes and stuff like that, but it's never corrected on the actual Kidmin Academy website. Like if something's changed, if he gives the wrong data or information, I've never seen it corrected properly by Kidmin Academy, not like edited in the bottom or anything like that. A lot of times it'll be written on the Facebook group, but never, that I can recall, never mentioned at all on the website, including like the next week's Tuesday Talk. So I feel like information is not great if you're not a super Facebook person. And if you do check out Facebook, if you're not regularly on the group page, at least once a week or more, you might miss something. And I know there are a lot of people that just aren't as into checking that out. And if you're only on there for like social week and stuff like that, you could miss something. So that's annoying. So like I said, these books are super short, and they're a good, easy little read. Like I could sit down and just kind of power through it in a little bit. And there's a good aspect to that, but I also think almost in a program like this that costs money, that has stuff, like I would assume that there was a little more academic rigor to it than there is. There's homework, and like this month there was some additional stuff. Check out this article, do stuff. But there are some months where it's very simple. Like I could sit there and do it all in a couple minutes, it feels like. And that's kind of a bummer. And I know some people might like that, but if I am like stepping out and trying to do something to grow, I feel like it could have dug a little deeper. The questions sometimes for homework are very simplistic. The social week stuff on the message boards, sometimes the questions are like, I can answer it in like a sentence, and it's very simple and it's very easy, and I can respond very quickly with a couple words to people. And there are bits of it that I would like more. I would like it developed more in that regard if I'm taking the time to step out and do this. I know as a mom, as someone who's working, who's from home, whose husband is getting a master's degree right now and is working from home at the moment. Part of the year most of the year he was furloughed, but I understand like not too rigorous is a good thing for a lot of people. So if that's not a bother to you, cool. But if you're expecting a little more, or you get to dive in a bit more, you're not going to write like a paper or anything. You might handful of assignments where like you had to write paragraphs and stuff like that, but most of the homework is not designed in that way. And I guess I could like push it more, but it's not set in that way that you have to dig. So the faculty. So some of them, like I said, are these awesome people that I'm very interested in, that I like hearing about. But there are a couple that like rubbed me the wrong way. There was a guy talking about leadership in the book, and the way he was talking about it in the video, I'm like, this does not come off grace-filled. This does not come off how I feel a church should behave. This comes off like a big giant company. And anywhere you go, you're going to have people that you don't flow with. But I did have that experience a little bit here and there. And I think part of it has to do with, I really feel like this program is more designed for people in larger churches. Now, I'm sure they're not going to say that. And as someone at a smaller church, there has been some really good stuff that I've taken out of it. I'm not saying there hasn't. But there's an assumption in a lot of what I read in these books. A couple of them have actually made note of smaller churches, but I feel like there's an assumption that your church is bigger, that you have the space, that you have the budget. And even when they talk about like a small budget, sometimes that's not feasible in a smaller church. What a larger church would consider a small budget to do things, when they talk about like stage design and this and that, and or your digital print, and how you need to spend this money on these computers, or this isn't like, and you just can't. And that's not strictly an issue with this. If you're going to go to any conference, if you're going to do anything, unless it's specific to small churches, you're going to have that issue. There's an assumption that you are a large to mega size church, I feel like, or that you can live in that space. And sometimes it just does not work that way. I mean, like, we're not back yet technically or anything, but we're going to be a one-room schoolhouse kind of deal when we come back. And we basically were before. We were early childhood, kindergarten and below, and 1st to 6th grade. And that was us. And we are going to be that even more so when we get back, just because of people and space and volunteers. And that's, where we're at and the amount of kids we have, and how we do that is just how it's got to be. So I feel like that's a bit of a disconnect. And, let's go into the nitty-gritty of money. Like I said, I am very grateful to Kidmin Academy for scholarshiping me, and a full scholarship. Like, there's no way I would have been able to do this and get the stuff out of it that I did get out, that I did really enjoy. But like I said before, I got a half scholarship several years ago, and I had to decline it because I didn't realize it was a half scholarship. Kidmin Academy costs $2,000. And depending on your church, that's going to be a breaking point, I think. If you are a larger church that has a really cool budget for development of your leaders and stuff like that, I think there's value in this program and the different topics and different things like that, and I think you could really enjoy it. If you're a smaller church like me, we're sending you to one local conference a year is not even feasible. That if you're going to conferences, you might be paying out of pocket to do stuff. It's just too much money. For what it is, I'm going to say, if your church does not have a regular budget for conferences and stuff like that, it just is. It's too much money. These books are really fun and have good stuff in it. You can find books. These books run about $20 a piece. There's one for each month. You could find books similar in stuff if you ask around other children's leaders and value. And then you can go onto a Facebook group like Children's Pastors Only, or I Love Kidmin, or other groups, which definitely have people that are in Kidmin Academy along with others and ask people and talk to people about topics in a similar way that we would do in Social Week. I mean, you're going to miss out on getting to interact with some like top-notch people in children's ministry at a level, but you're only going to get to ask a couple questions, if I'm being honest. And if you're a church that has a big budget for this, it might be something you really enjoy doing and have value in and take it out. If you're someone that didn't go to college for ministry, like did something completely different, and you want something to push you forward just a little bit, and you don't have a ton of time, but you have some time to invest, I think it's a good thing if you have the money for it. Another bonus is if you are eventually intending to like extend your education. Indiana Wesleyan University will give you some credits if you get the diploma. Not a ton. I think it's 5 class hours or something like that, but you do get some credit towards school in the future if that's stuff you're interested in. So on a whole, I'm very happy that I did this program this year. I enjoyed it. If there is a program called Excel, which is like a second year program through them, I'm not doing it because I honestly haven't even looked into what the price is, but I can assume it's similar, and it's too expensive. At least the main one is the $2,000 is a lot of money for a small church. Now, you got to also remember, this is over the course of a year. So if you go, like I said, if your church has a big budget for you putting in stuff, I mean, expense that over the year. And if you're spending $100 to a couple $100 a month, averaged out with conferences and stuff like that, it totally evens out to it, and it's great. Like I said, my church, maybe I can get $100 or something to go to something local that doesn't require me to stay at a hotel, that doesn't require me to do something. I am lucky to be in Southern California where stuff comes to us, and I'm aware of that. But yeah, like, I am happy I did it. If I had to do it out of pocket, I wouldn't have done it. And I think there are ways to grow professionally in that regards without a program like this. But I am happy I did it. I am very grateful to Kidmin Academy for my scholarship. And I hope they do another like time where they bounce a bajillion scholarships out so people can participate in this. Again, that can't afford it. I also would love to see more content out there for small churches as a part of things like this. And even so bigger churches can grasp stuff from smaller church leaders, because there's an intimacy and there are different things. And an amount of imagination and ingenuity that I think smaller churches have to, by the nature of how little money or space or staffing they have put together. And I think there's a big value to that for bigger churches to see too. But that is my review of Kidmin Academy. And I know it's not like a definitive, you should do it, you shouldn't do it. If you have the money and this sounds interesting to you, go for it. If your money is slower, I would invest in some books and getting really attached to a Facebook group. And there are a lot of really cool Facebook groups that are not related to that, because it is a lot of money. Like, I don't spend that money in curriculum or crafts or anything like that over the course of the year. So it's like more than my budget for the year. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining me for today. Thank you for joining me for Vlog Every Day in April. And I will see you in the future. I'll see you on Sunday because I'm going to keep posting my videos because we're still not meeting in person. All right, guys. God bless. Bye.